Grace. I mean, she says that she'll support him, and that, that there's every possibility that in the 2018 elections that Zimbabweans would, as she put it, vote for his corpse. But my question to you is this, still looking at these pictures. I mean, is it the case in general terms that this man in his 30 years in power has on his own bat completely destroyed the Zimbabwean economy?
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. The economy has really gone down, and it's really quite sad. Sanctions, instead of helping to create change or to foster change, what we've seen is these very clever rulers are able to use that narrative to turn themselves into victims in many cases, or in some cases they will go to China or Russia to get aid somewhere else. So it's. Is
that why sanctions haven't worked? Because China is keeping Zimbabwe afloat, or is that too simplistic?
China is helping Zimbabwe. The other reason sanctions don't work, well, they've had some impact, no doubt, on the economy, but it's the poorer people that suffer. Obviously, Grace and Mugabe are having a nice time, and his cronies would be very well protected. The poorer people are the ones that suffer from many of these sanctions. And the ability to turn the narrative, turn themselves into victims, perhaps also perpetuates the mystique and the ideals that they propagate.
I know that at one point he was issuing a few years back trillions of dollars in note form. There was hyperinflation. There was catastrophe, really, economically. Now these new bond notes have been issued. I suppose the fear is that with this last gamble, if I can put it that way, things will get even worse.
Yes, but who's going to invest in Zimbabwean bonds when he's saying that he's not going anywhere? And he's giving a picture that things are not going to change in Zimbabwe, and he's using this Trump, if you like, parallel to elevate what he's trying to do, which I don't think is going to work.
The tragedy is that there's not a strong opposition. I mean, they live in fear of him, I suppose.
Yeah, they live in fear. I mean, there is opposition, but obviously it's a martial and very harsh environment. So the opposition are definitely on the ground, and they're very well beaten down. But like we were saying just before we came in, anything can happen in Zimbabwe anytime. Before we finish this conversation, you can hear something has happened. That's what typically happens in those kinds of environments.
And that is our Africa analyst, Bode Ososami, talking to David Glencorse in London. Now, in Romania, some of the largest protests the country has ever seen have been taking place over the last few weeks. The public is angry about corruption, with around 500,000 people attending demonstrations nationwide. But it didn't start off this way. It took a few brave souls to stand up to officials first. Anca Teodorescu has the story.
United they stand. Recent weeks have seen Romanians gather in the hundreds of thousands to say no to corruption after the government's attempt to water down anti-graft legislation. These have been the country's biggest protests since the fall of communism. But it took some brave individuals to start saying no to corruption in their everyday life. Architect Serban Marinescu faced a challenging decision when a local mayor demanded a cut of a major contract he had won.
This was uncharted territory for me. Once you've been asked to do something corrupt, you can't just say no. This is because without wanting to be, you are already implicated to a certain extent. Either I had to pay a bribe or report it. Neither option was easy.
Marinescu plucked up the courage to report the incident, and after a months-long trial, the mayor was locked up. A turning point came in 2015 when a blaze in a Bucharest nightclub killed 64 people. The blaze was blamed on corrupt officials turning a blind eye to fire regulations.
For the first time, what seemed like cliches, corruption kills, corruption affects us all, became very real. People felt it directly. From that moment onwards, a large mass of people who would not tolerate corruption anymore was formed.
Between 2014 and 2016, legal proceedings were launched against more than 1,100 people for allegedly misappropriating more than €1 billion between them. 9 out of 10 cases were opened thanks to institutions and whistleblowers.
Lots of civil servants contact us about instances of corruption. They were offered bribes, their bosses make them drop public contracts in a particular way. I think this is a sign that people trust our institution, but it's also a change in mentality.
Romania, the second poorest country in the European Union, has made major progress tackling graft in recent years. And its people, standing together, are determined that this trend will continue.
Well, we're heading to a break now, but there's plenty more to come, including all the sport and entertainment news. We've also got something special lined up for later this week. Our team in Los Angeles will be bringing you all the latest from the 89th Academy Awards.
Our customers are focused, versatile, superheroes. Our customers are also the most important people in our world. So we listen, partner, and give solutions that make a difference in their world. At First Bank, we will always put you first.
You first. First Bank.
There is a place the whole world is talking about. A place where big things are happening. A place that is providing the unexpected. A place that is optimistic and vibrant.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Good evening.
A place where the old traditions live happily alongside the new.
Know you well? Welcome.
This process here is state of the art.
And just
A place that is achieving the impossible.
that's what we can do.
First time in Africa, sir?
Yes, it is. But it certainly won't be my last.
Welcome to the bank that has empowered the people of Africa to achieve a great many things. Welcome to the bank that believes that even greater opportunities and partnerships lie ahead. Welcome to Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Welcome back to Arise News now, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Charles Aniagolu. To sport now, and Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says the experience of last night's exhilarating 5-3 Champions League victory over Monaco would stand his side in good stead in the competition. City came from behind twice to secure the win, with Sergio Aguero scoring a brace.
When two teams want to attack in that way, with a lot of people, with intensity, with not don't give up. So sometimes the football is nice. It's beautiful. So at least I know we receive a lot of pressure, all of us, but at the end it's a game for 90 minutes and how the people, it was enjoyable or not, and it was. And that's why the people today in our stadium, all our fans were so grateful, and they passed 90 funny minutes. And that is the best present we can receive, like we feel. And of course, now we are more satisfied because it's 5-3. We could be here and say we are out.
So the English Premier League and Manchester United boss Jose Mourinho has not ruled out Wayne Rooney leaving the club. United will be without the injured striker who's been subject to speculation about his Old Trafford future.
Of course I can't. I can't guarantee that I'm here next week. How can I guarantee that the player is here next season? What I can guarantee is that if Wayne one day leaves the club, it's not because I want him to leave the club. That's the only thing I can guarantee. I would never push or try to push a legend of this club to another destiny. So you have to ask him if he sees himself staying in the club for the rest of his career, or if he sees himself moving. It's not a question for me, because I'm happy to have.
And away from the pitch, Argentina and Barcelona star Lionel Messi has been promoting treatment for hepatitis C in Egypt. Messi is an ambassador for the Turin Cure campaign, which runs combined tourism and hepatitis C treatment travel packages for tourists visiting the country. The country has gained global recognition from the World Health Organization for its fight against the disease. To entertainment news now, and George Michael was planning a big comeback. According to guitarist Nile Rodgers, the musician said he was heartbroken to hear of the singer's death on Christmas Day and heard the news while awaiting a text from Michael himself. The Chic star had been at Michael's house just 2 days before he was found dead and was already working on the remix of one of his songs. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise News Now. Do stay with us. Plenty more still ahead on the channel. Bye-bye.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket, and the future in our hands.